If you see me gradually melt, drip, just turn into a puddle over the period of this video, no you didn't, mind your business, it's too hot. I'm technically late to this challenge, I think, because it's mid-July when I'm filming this. It's probably going up before the end of July, but I think right at the end of July. So I'm on the cusp. It's before my birthday though, so in my head that's not technically late. I have pulled these questions from Sid's video because I think questions get like bastardized every year and people add some and people take some away. I quite liked this set of questions, so I'm rolling with it. All of them will be linked down below with timestamps if you want to skip around, because it's quite a long video and I probably have quite a lot to say. Except I've said that now, so I probably jinxed it. Enjoy! How has your reading gone so far this year? Overall, it's been ambitious and then slumpy as fuck. So I was super ambitious at the beginning of this year because I rode that high of like new year challenges, gonna do loads of vlog projects, gonna do this, gonna do that. And I did some of them. I finished them. And as soon as I finished them, I slumped hard because all I had done was force myself to read the books for those videos. I hadn't really picked up anything mood ready. And I hadn't really had that many 5 stars or anything that like super surprised me or brought me loads of joy. So I did really struggle once I had finished those videos. Also, because of my PDA, if you tell me I have to do something, I then don't want to do it. I then physically cannot make myself do it. So I did really struggle because I not only have my 12 to read in 2025 that I was forcing myself to do, I tried to do Buzzwordathon all in like 3 months, which was fucking insane. Not just like the title prompts, but the cover prompts as well. But it was a whole thing. I will not be doing it again this year. Far too ambitious. I want to enjoy reading. I am very slumpy at the moment. I've read a couple of good books here and there, but I'm behind on my reading goal. At the moment, as of, what are we today? The 18th of July, I've read 49 books. My goal was only 100 this year, and that was down 50 books from last year because I was like, I just want to take it easy. And now I'm not sure I'm going to hit that. I think I'm okay with that in the long run because frankly, I want to be able to enjoy reading. If I'm forcing myself to read too much, that is a red flag. That's a bad sign. We're not doing that shit here. So I think easing myself out of the slump instead of like booting my ass out might be the way to go. I think the only other interesting stat that's happening at the moment, I'm not doing quarterly stats breakdowns because no one liked them and they were a pain in the ass to do. So they're for my pleasure only. But the one stat that did jump out at me was I have only spent £199 and 14p on books this year. Now that doesn't include the books that I spent on my blind date for a book vlog because those are for my birthday party, so that's a separate budget for me because they're not for me, they're for other people. But for myself, I have spent £199 and 14p on books. That's insane. This is what the breakdown of each month looks like. There's a very clear like pattern there. This time last year I had already spent £532 and 96p. So having spent way less than half of that this year makes me feel good. Cosy lives, but it makes me feel good. I feel like I've got more control over my reading and my purchasing habits, which is good. I've been using my library a lot. I've been using Libra FM a lot. I have the 2 credit subscription, so I think I pay about £16 a month for 2 audiobooks. That's been working really well for me. But other than that, it's library or it's reading my backlog. I currently only have 6 books on my TBR, like my physical TBR. That's it. I've got 6 books and they're all a little bit intimidating, but we'll get to that. I might vlog it. So yeah, where it's at the moment, I'm happy with it. I feel like I'm going in the right direction. Cautiously optimistic. What is the best book you've read so far in 2025? I'm not going to have a single answer for any of these questions. I'm going to have lots of answers because life is more fun that way. I've had 10 5-star reads so far this year, which is pretty good. And I'm putting that down to my giant DNF rate. I think it's about 40%. I haven't calculated it yet for this year. I think it might have gone up. I have had an absurd number of DNFs in the last couple of months. I'll just put my graph up here because like this spike, I think it's about here. There's a spike where the right-hand column is super large. That's a lot of DNFs compared to the number of books I actually finished. Allow me to introduce myself by Onyi Nwabineli. I loved this book. It played into one of my hyperfixations / like special interests, which is children in influencer lifestyles and online and that kind of like conversation. It's from the point of view of a girl who has been online thanks to her stepmother her entire life. She has now pulled herself away from it, but it's still affecting her everyday life. She has developed an addiction because of it. She is struggling mentally. She's in therapy. Like, it's fucked her up that her stepmother was basically selling her as a child online her entire childhood. She thought she's pulled herself out of it, but now her stepmother looks like she's going to pull her younger sister into that lifestyle as well, and she cannot stand to see that happen. It is so powerful. It is so poignant, and I think a lot of people don't realize how like underhanded and sneaky some of these like mum vloggers or family influencers can be around this kind of stuff. And I think as well, in light of the Ruby Frankie case and some other examples I can't think of off the top of my head, there's so many of just episodes of bad behaviour and parents not actually putting aside the money for the children that they are focusing these whole videos around. Like, it's a whole thing. I watch a lot of Smokey Glow's videos about these sorts of things, and we're on the same page when it comes to how we feel about kids on the internet. And this book encompasses all of it in such stark, beautiful writing, and it's so engaging and it's so like infuriating, and you just have to get to the end to see how it works out. And I loved it so much. I also loved Blood Over Brighthaven. This one felt like a bit of a cheat because it was kind of everything. It was kind of everything I know I love in books in a book. So it was rampant misogyny within a society, and the woman barging her way in and just being like, I belong here, I deserve to be here, you can't fucking make me leave. And then she discovers something horrific about the society, and everything goes tits up, and it's political intrigue everywhere. And again, so engaging, very like magic system heavy is what I think I'm trying to say. They go into a lot of depth about how the magic works and the intricacies of it all. I think it's so clever, it's so well thought out. Some people find it quite predictable. I don't tend to find that with a lot of books because I don't find myself like jumping to try and work out what's going on. There is a big twist. I think there's a couple of big twists actually, but there are strong themes of misogyny, sexism, xenophobia, racism, and just people being absolutely fucking awful as a collective as well as individually. And it's really powerful. I really, really enjoyed this book, and I now understand the hype around it. What is the best sequel you've read so far in 2025? I have 1.5 for this. The one that really jumps out is Le Fay by Sophie Keach. This is the sequel to Morgan Is My Name. Absolutely fantastic retelling of Morgana from the Arthurian legends and her life. It's like a biography essentially, but obviously fictional because she is fictional. Super powerful, super enraging, I think realistic from my limited point of view of Arthurian legends. These books make me feel so much. I cannot wait for the third book. I can't tell you anything that happens in the second one because spoilers, but we follow Morgan and what happens in her life. For those that don't know, Morgana is Arthur's cousin, but that came about in a very underhanded, sneaky and unconsensual way with magic involved. Merlin is very much the bad guy in this, if you're interested in reading a book from that perspective. And overall, it's just a stellar fucking series. I highly recommend it. I will mention the second one purely because I did love it. And the reason I'm hesitating is because the author was an idiot online, and a stubborn one at that. To my knowledge, he's not done anything like stupidly egregious. The other one is A Drop of Correction by Robert Jackson Bennett. He has gone and said some completely ignorant things about AI and the use of AI and the impact that has on the climate online, and I lost all respect for him after that. I had actually filmed a whole reading vlog for Drop of Corruption because I was so excited for it. I did really love this book, and then I found out he'd done stupid shit and I took the video off my schedule. So I'm pissed because I see him in a very different light now, and that has ruined the books for me personally. If you're the sort of person that can look past those things, I did really enjoy this book. I probably won't mention him from now on. What book did you have the most fun reading? Got a 3 for this. So first one is Little Rot by Akwaeke Emezi. Akwaeke Emezi is a poet, and you can tell they are a poet from their novels. It is so engaging the way that they write, and the characters they talk about are so flawed and interesting and organic and so human. This is one of those books that is heavily character focused. We're in like the dark, seedy underbelly of this unnamed city in Nigeria, and we follow a group of characters who are all interconnected in some way, and their stories all touch on each other and then entwine with each other, and we end up with this giant massive tangle where the stakes are so high. And I couldn't put this book down. I cannot wait to read one of their other books, which I've got on the shelf. I think it's You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty. But I was absolutely in love with the writing. I was in love with the way that they told this story, the sort of the perspectives that they gave on the characters in the book. And I absolutely loved it. It was a riot because these characters are all about having fun. It's all about doing whatever the hell they want. It's debauched, it's erotic, it is dangerous. It's rich people chucking their money around and doing whatever they want because they're rich and they can do. And that is so fun to read about. Another one is The Incandescent by Emily Tesh. This was always going to hit because not only have I been to boarding school, I am also a teacher. And this is about a magic teacher at a magic boarding school. It is sapphic. It deals with the romance plot lines really smartly in a way that I think is more common and I think will be more relatable to people. But I loved the main character so much because of my experience teaching. And if I had to teach kids how to raise and summon demons, I would also react that way. I would also have that attitude towards risk assessments and paperwork. We open the book with her writing a risk assessment so that her learners can summon a level 4 demon or something. But it's from the point of view of the teachers. It is the book that every adult wished they had about magic school books. Like, I cannot express how much I love this book. I don't know how well it's going to translate to other people because I have that experience. I have lived that life in different aspects of it, but it's so clever. I love the magic system in this. I love the visuals that the book portrays, and I just think it's so smart and so funny, and so, like, our main character is like whip smart. Her wit is on point. It's so fun to read about, and it's just a little bit irreverent. It makes a lot of good references. We love to see it. Last on my list for this one is Dreadful by Caitlin Rozakis. This was a surprise. I haven't read much satire outside of Terry Pratchett, and I really enjoyed this. So this is satire based on like the Dark Lord trope and the villains. Our main character wakes up with amnesia and works out he's a Dark Lord in a tower, and his Dark Lord pals are coming over pretty soon, and he's got to work out what the hell he's doing, why there's a princess in his dungeon, and why are all these goblins running around acting like they own the place. And it's just fantastic. If you want goblin representation, which you know I always do, this is the book for you. It's so funny. The twist on the goblins, chef's kiss. I loved it so much. Some of it was predictable, but it was so enjoyable to see shit turned on its head, and it's so readable. It's like compulsively readable. It's so engaging, and it was just a romp because it is so irreverent, and it was so funny. So funny. Please read this book if you haven't already. I loved it. What is a new release you haven't read yet but want to? It's Not a Cult by Joey Beatty. There's not a lot of new releases coming out that I'm like, oh my god, yes, I'm so excited for that. But this one, Joey Beatty plays Dandelion. No, he's called Jaskier. He's called Jaskier in the CV series. The words. Joey Beatty plays Jaskier in the Witcher series. I loved the games, initially loved the series, and then season 2 went downhill. I'm off the tracks, whatever. But he was my favourite character. He is funny. And he has written what sounds like a horror book about a indie folk band, which he's also in real life. A band, not the band. Accidentally create a cult following and turn themselves into gods, maybe? Something along those lines. But it sounds intriguing, and I would love to know if his talent also extends to writing. So I'm being nosy about that. That's what I'm looking forward to. The next question is, what is your most anticipated book for the second half of the year? This is What Stalks the Deep by T. Kingfisher. This is the third book in the Swan Soldier series, which is a series of novellas. It started with a retelling of The Fall of the House of Usher. I don't know what the second one was, but it was good. So I'm excited for the third, also because it's just T. Kingfisher. Like I said before, I'm not really I haven't really got my finger on the buzzer of like what's coming out soon, because I haven't really been buying books. I've not been out and about, and I'm not that interested in watching like anticipated releases videos myself, so I'm kind of missing out on that information. But this one, I always want T. Kingfisher. One of my friends went to a talk with her that I had to miss because I was doing something else equally as fun, and she said she's got like 1 million books in the pipeline for the next couple of years. So I feel like my shelves, I'm just gonna have to dedicate a whole one of these to T. Kingfisher, and that will make me happy. Like a lot. What is the worst book you've read so far in 2025? Now, I've been really good with my DNFs, so there haven't been that many. However, I did read Kappa. I think this is satire as well. It's satirical about society in that this man falls down a hole and finds himself in a society full of kappas. Kappas are weird frog-like creatures that have a bowl in their heads full of water, and I believe the mythology is that if the water in their head bowl spills out, they die. That part wasn't really touched on in this novella, but this novella was bizarre. It had weird pacing. It had weird concepts. I couldn't really tell what was happening, what was going on. It was very like, and this happened, and this happened, and then he was over here. They kept introducing characters and not coming back to them. It was like a whirlwind tour of this little society. Nothing particularly was interesting about it. Some of it was really, really odd. What did I read this for? I think I read it for the buzzword one. But like, when female kappas are pregnant, they will shout up their vaginas to check if the baby's ready to come out, and the baby will answer, and then they come out fully formed. Like, weird shit like that. And I just really didn't vibe with it. It probably has something to do with the fact that it's translated, so maybe it's a cultural thing, maybe it's the fact that it's more contemporary / literary, and I don't often vibe with that sort of thing. It really wasn't for me. I really didn't enjoy this book. What is the biggest disappointment of the year so far? I've got 2 for this. First one being Starter Villain by John Scalzi. I've already sold my copy. I have never really been a fan of like the supervillain, James Bond situation. That's not my bag. I don't care. It doesn't spark joy. All this was confused man learns he's heir to supervillain empire. And that was it. It was so short. The pacing was absolutely bonkers. I think the first 2/3 were like, oh, what's going on? I'm so dumb. I can't work out anything. It's like I've never seen a supervillain film before. I don't know what's going on. Stupid. And then the last third was like, and here's all the action. And suddenly he knew how to do everything. And it was a bit like, oh, okay. How did we get here? Disappointing and bad. I love his other stuff. Therefore, very disappointing. Then we have Green Teeth. This was one of my most anticipated books of the year. And it was on my 12 to read in 2025 list. I read it for that vlog. This is about Jenny Greenteeth, who is a water hag, and it's from her point of view. Something is threatening her pond, her lake, and she has to go on a quest with a hobgoblin and a witch to work it out and fix stuff, basically. The pacing of this one was really off for me. The stakes were shit. I really wasn't sold on the fact on how dangerous the bad guy was in the first place, and so everything they were doing in order to get away from the bad guy just felt really stupid and unnecessary, because I had been given no reason to think he was that bad in the first place, if that makes sense. And then the pacing, because we fall into the 3 tasks trope in this book, which I normally really enjoy, pacing and the stakes for that felt really off as well, because you knew they had to pass them all in order for the book to succeed, and then they did pass them all, and it was like, okay, well, you could have maybe give me some red herrings or something, or twist something on its head. Maybe make them fail and have to bargain in order to stay in the tasks or something. I thought of so many other ways they could have done this book that I think would have improved it, and it just didn't live up to my expectations, and I was upset because it is a book from the point of view of a monster that isn't a romance. There is no romance in this book if you're looking for that, but I also wasn't particularly engaged with the rest of it either. So what is the biggest surprise of the year so far? The Witch's Heart. 100%. I think I read this for 12 to read in 2025 as well. I used to own this book, and then I got rid of it because I didn't think I was going to enjoy it. And then it popped up again for a recommendations video. No, it was for the Storygraph one. That's what I read it for. It's for my Storygraph vlog. And so I read it for that vlog, and I absolutely loved it. I loved it so much. If I have to read a romance, I want to read a romance in this format, because it was all about her, and her love interest was just floating in and out of the picture a little bit. Didn't consume her whole life. She stayed whole and important and independent throughout the whole book. She had heavy sapphic vibes with her best friend, which we could have gone there. Sad we didn't go there. But we follow the life of Angrboda, who is a witch from Norse mythology, and it is a retelling of Norse mythology from her point of view. So it's the trope of the wronged woman and the revenge and the finding their power elements that I really, really love in stories. And it blew me away. It really, really surprised me. Love it. Highly recommend it. Who is your new favourite author? New to you or debut? I think that has to go to Akwaeke Emezi, because I'd never read any of their stuff before, and I just loved it. I already talked about Little Rot, so I won't go over it again. But their stuff, their writing, I want to read everything they've written now. Just everything. Possibly tied with Emily Tesh, because I DNF one of her books this year, but also The Incandescent is fantastic, and then Silver in the Wood and Drowned Country are also fantastic. But I did know who she was before, so that's just sort of a bonus answer that doesn't really apply to anything, sorry. What book has made you cry so far this year? year. None of them. I don't really cry at books, sorry. What is the most beautiful book you've bought this year? Definitely Siren Queen, because this and my copy is really shiny. I don't know where it is right now. I love this cover. I don't remember the last time I saw a cover like this. It was so like intriguing. It was one of the reasons I decided to pick it up for the Storygraph vlog. Fantastic. Loved it. Loved it to pieces. What are the books that you need to read by the end of the year? Now, I'm not going to put any pressure on myself, partly because I only have 6 books on my physical TBR, but I am going to say You Make a Fool of Death with Your Beauty by Quakey Emezi. I want to jump into that story. I want to see if it's as good as the other one that they wrote, because I would like to know if they are in fact my new favourite author or if it was just like a one-hit wonder situation. I will be sad if it's a one-hit wonder. What is your favourite video that you've made this year so far? I think either the 12 to read in 2025, because I put so much effort into that and so much of like my reading capacity into that, though I don't think I did anything special on the side of like editing it or anything like that. Or my autism vlog, where I chat about meltdowns and how I deal with meltdowns and just sort of a couple of days in my life as someone who is nearly 30 and has autism and a full-time job and a mortgage, and what that's like and how I cope with that, because quite a lot of the time life is too much and I melt down and I have to deal with that and just get back on my feet. So documenting that and filming it in the way that I did and being able to use the video to drag myself out of a meltdown as well. I was really proud of that. I wasn't sure I was going to post it, and then I really liked the way it turned out. So proud of that one. Any upcoming videos that you're excited to make? I saw Sid do a wheel spinning challenge for finishing her series. Now, I don't care about the series I have on the go, but I really like the idea of doing a hobby roulette kind of a video where I spin the wheel and have to do that hobby for maybe like half an hour at a time. Partly because I get decision paralysis and I have so many hobbies and so many projects on the go that I just need to like sink my teeth into and do, because they bring me joy and I forget about them because they're not there because ADHD. So I think doing a vlog about that could be really fun. I have started it. I don't know if I like the way that I filmed it, so I might do some like tweaking and see what happens, but I think that's the one I'm excited for at the moment. If you have any kind of video that you would like to see from me or any questions you would like me to answer, do let me know, because you'll subscribe to me. If you would like something in particular and I want to make it, then we can do that. That's it for today's video. I have been talking enough. I need to sit in front of a fan for like an hour. It's so warm. It's so warm. If you reach the end of this video, pop a green heart emoji down in the comments and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.